Kathy Vick, deeply awake. I'm heated up like the sun, and walking to my computer, so happy, just really celebrating and happy, because I can come to you. And usually there's just a little teeny tiny bit of, I don't know why I'm doing this. This is so crazy. Along with the relative excitement, which was mitigated with self-doubt. And that's sort of blown off. Truth-telling will do that to a person. And I've certainly told a lot of truth lately, haven't I? Good. Good. The reason I'm coming to you is because there are a couple of stray thoughts that are important. And I realized yesterday I didn't explain the miracle of those boats. I want to explain the miracle of the boats. And then I want to explain what I understand about a change that's going on from empathy to something more. You can call it compassion if you want. When I was having the meditation I did, which, just to review, I was needing to meditate. I don't meditate often. Oftentimes, pardon me, it'll be right before I go to sleep. I'll just be moved to see pictures. Am I generating them, or is my team? I don't think it matters, does it? For now, can we just let that particular question fall? Because the bottom line is I'm seeing visuals. Yesterday the day before, the night time, I was laying on my bed, but I thought a pretty boat, a silver boat, would be nice. But I don't want this boat to zip away, and I don't know what to do with my apartment. And then everything just melted, and I was on a beautiful black sea, like a mirror, with stars and a black sky on the ocean. Through a series of about 3 hours, the meditations changed, and the boat became a raft with a pole in the middle. No sail, just a pole. And there I was, encircling it with my body, huddling at one point. And then they kept saying, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? In life or whatever, what do you want? This is the next part. Girlie, what do you want? Order it up like it's a menu. Check all, manifest. Check all, manifest. Check all, manifest. And well, I was laying in that silver boat again. It turned from the raft to the boat, and I was bobbing. And it dawned on me, I'm generating this light. This is my creation. It wasn't that I was given a vision of a gold yacht full of loved ones. No. I lay in that silver boat, and I felt myself change. I went from being a little silver boat to I elongated and widened and deepened and just changed. And then I was that golden boat. What was beautiful about being on that golden boat is that, well, I explained it. There were so many people, and we all loved each other, and we were working cooperatively. It was just beautiful. And I had a loved one, and I knew it, and it was just so lovely. But I realized as I was laying there, this is why I wanted to come to you. I'm not being gifted these things. They're not just plopping in from the great unknown because suddenly, finally, I deserve it. And I didn't before. No. This gold is me. Further, these people are me, and I am them. They are me, I am them. They're their own people. They're galaxies. But this is from me. This is mine. This is mine. That's what was so magical about that golden boat. I knew it couldn't be taken from me, and I knew I'd had nothing to do with deserving, with being gifted, with being a passive recipient. It was simply the next expression. It was this assurance. It was this peace that helped me get to sleep, and that has stayed with me ever since. It's really not about deserving. Further, it's not about fixing things so that better things are possible. It's about seeing differently. And it's about vibrating differently, emitting differently. And it's all mine. How can it not be? So it's simply a continuation. Nothing to be afraid of. Nothing to worry about whether I can manage it or not. Because isn't that the question? You want certain things, the love of your life, or your dream job, or the professional recognition that you've toiled a lifetime for, or whatever. This brass ring, right? I have my own. Some people know what my brass rings are, but I have them. Well, the thing is that I always saw it as out there, and something that I had to wait for someone else to give me. Isn't that what love is? And truly, in a way, it is. Someone pierces your reality and hands you something that changes you, alters you. And then you look up and everything's changed. Well, that's kind of how I feel after that meditation. And I don't feel fear. And I really feel very proud of my work. Partly because, and I realized, oh boy, I gotta do these transcriptions. I reviewed my tapes last night before I went to bed, actually. I was laying down with the phone like this in my hand, cupped. I put on autoplay, woke up like at 11 o'clock listening to something. I don't remember exactly which tape it is, but kind of blew myself away. Because I was talking about how the people around me have wanted things for me that I've not wanted for myself and don't recognize as mine. But because I didn't have an interest and because I didn't see them as mine, they were sad for me. Because I wasn't going to have the same happiness as they. And the happiness is that they were sad, I was cutting myself from, are the only ones in town. They're the sanctioned ones. the state-sanctioned ones. And I realized it stair-step realizations, but this big group of people who've decided the best way to happiness, and actually the only way. And I think we all know the script, right? Good job, mortgage, partner, maybe kids, maybe travel, but yeah, you gotta have those things. Come on now. Partner's gotta be of the opposite sex. That goes without saying. Come on, get it together. Well, those people, the ones who are pursuing the mortgages and the groupthink, the hive mind, they don't know what they're doing. It's not the only happiness in town. They don't know what they're doing. And I heard myself say something that I hadn't heard for decades. I'd been thinking it to myself for about a week, but the meaning of it came home on tape. Forgive them, Mother. They don't know what they're doing. Forgive them, Mother. He doesn't know what he's done. Forgive her, Mother. She doesn't understand what she's doing. Forgive them. They know not what they do. What that means, I don't have to feel empathy anymore. And I saw the tape last night, and it made an impression. And then I went to sleep. And this morning I was reading something on the blogosphere about Ascension. I will be posting it with this on my website. And it talked about just that, empathy. It talked about how it's time now for some of us, not all of us, for perhaps you looking at my eyeballs and me and others like us. It is time to change how we are running our energy. I think that's what this membrane's been about. It's obviously been about a lot, but to say it doesn't have anything to do with the group mind or the collective soul would be incorrect. It is time to pull, and I did it. I have it on tape. Pull, I'll speak for myself, my energy into myself now. I remember doing it, and it's been reported. I went into my forest and into the clearing, met a wizard. I didn't do my normal technique. I just met a wizard and went into my clearing of my forest in my meditation space. And I saw myself do that. I sat down and I could see tendrils of energy like highways coming off of me. And I said, it's time. I don't want to do this anymore. And I reeled in that energy, ran it a different way. It came back to me, and I turned into something that was like the sun. It was blinding, the light that I became. And it wasn't that I was, I've always thought, it's an act of aggression to pull my energy away from a situation or a person who is in need. And I don't have to attend to them in words or in deeds, but I can extend my energy. And to remove my energy, I've always been taught, is an energetic insult. And it is felt. and it's a bit of a punishment. And so do so wisely. Well, I got that information in the 90s. And at the time, it was appropriate to use oneself as medicine. And I think that the idea was to get out there and live. And I'll tell you what I don't admit now. Ready? I've known for a super long time. I've known for a super long time. The poverty, the debt, even some of the relationship stuff and the breaks and the problems. Camouflage. Camouflage. And little else. Be eaten alive if I didn't have problems. And plus I knew I had some time to make messes and clean them up, and I didn't have to worry too much about cleanup. So I made messes. It's true. And I also well, still, how do you work this out? How do you live a happy life here in a place that requires you to shit your nest and have problems, so that you can have some sort of currency socially? You have something to talk about, because a lot of people don't know how to talk to each other unless they're talking about conflicts in their lives, losses, troubles, confusions. They don't know how to communicate with people other than that way. Well, it's to feel some empathy, and the idea is to get into it. So I've always figured, well, okay, I can't really heal anything I don't understand, and I've got to be on both sides. That's the idea. You live male, female, gay, straight. You live all of these lives, so you have the ability to have compassion, to see yourself in other people, to see yourself as a potentially dead soldier on a field. Well then, if you see that, why would you want to sign up for enlisted duty? If you already made that mess. And with relationships, especially with men, it's become a matter of, always has been, the end is always written into the beginning, because the level of consciousness is already pretty obvious. And I've not met anyone who can go as far as me. I've not met anybody as roomy as me, who just has all the doors open inside. I've met people who you get far enough in and then the doors start closing, or they're just sealed. You go deep enough and they're just freaking sealed. And you just walk around lonely in somebody's heart because they're shut down. And that's pretty much how people are. And it's lonely. And I'm talking now about people who I would really actually opt to spend time with. And those people are few. I don't think my friends and my loved ones and my lovers know just how important they are to me and how special they are. I would really much prefer to spend time by myself than anyone who is, I just can sense it if somebody's, I don't know, having conflict and all they want to do is talk about their conflict and why? I'd rather just be home by myself. I'd rather be out in nature or at a movie. And for me to opt instead of that delicious solitude, to plop myself down next to someone, look in their eyes and ask questions and care about the response, that's a big deal. Yeah. I don't think people really get that. Why should they? I don't think that most people are very mindful about how they socialize. I am because I have to be, because I feel, because I'm empathic. But that's the idea. That's what's changing. That's what's changing. So let's talk about that. And then I'm going to get dressed and go to work. It's the same sense of imperviousness, and that's why I want to talk about it. It's like this. When I brought my energy into my own fields, I always thought that if I did that there would be a diminishment. Honestly. And there wasn't. The reverse was true. And this article I read said it's time to bring the energy and hold it. Hold it differently. And the time for empathy as currency is over. Empathy means you've got to get down into the level of consciousness that is being presented. You have to feel it, believe it, transmute it, and in company, speak the words in such an effective way, sometimes just a sentence, that particular agreement or construct, boop, disappears. Or at least is knocked a little bit. This is different. This is holding yourself at all times in knowledge, in profound respect. With ownership, with sovereignty. So, yes, this is a tape about sovereignty. Because truly, there was a sovereign on that boat. And all around me, silver, gold, what was being hushed, what was being whispered. With every glimmer, with every transformation from one thing to another, was as you wish. Of course. Sovereign. If I am sovereign, well, to close, I'll talk to you about a little vision that they gave me when they first started banging the drum about sovereignty. They said, imagine that you are the king or the queen of the land. Just for a moment, imagine this. You are a queen or a king. And you inhabit what that means, and have since before birth. You are royal. There's no denying it. And one look to the left or right proves it, because there they all are. In position, as they should be, around a king or queen. And so you take a stroll. Why not? You can. Decide to go to the village. Doesn't smell good. It's busy and it's loud. It's kind of sad. It's dirty. But people seem to be okay with it. It's not like the palace, but nobody's in distress about it. Seems but there's not a lot of happiness. Walking through, you encounter someone in dirty clothes, worn, old, mended. And you see something in that person that strikes you as regal, special. You smile and you encounter and you walk closer. What would happen if that king, that queen, would lean in? And say, I don't know who I am, but I see something in you that is special. It's familiar. It's wise and strong and good. You're the king, right? What would that person think? Having a smoke on a barrel, and here comes the frickin' queen of the land, dressed in ermine, wearing a freaking crown, bending down and saying, "Hey, are you the king around here?" What the fuck? That is some messed up shit. Holy crap, no one's in charge. You see the idea? I think that's a really good way to end this. Because I really do think, it's not a think. It's not a random thought that I'm hoping might come true one day. It is hardcore knowledge, in my soles of my feet. I like the other things that I've copped to that are, they're true, but I'm not going to admit them readily. I know I'm the sovereign. I know that. But going out there into the world, yeah. The thing is that no one can see my crown, and no one can see my ermine. That's the thing. And the other truth is that the person who was sitting on that barrel having a smoke and encountering the crazy queen, they're sovereign too. That's how it is. But with the idea of having a kingdom and having certain responsibilities, certain people to answer to, it's important to know who the hell you are and how to behave. And why people expect the things they do out of you, too. Kathy. So, in the interesting times. So I'm not saying that it's time to tell everyone to F off. That's not what the end of empathy means. It means moving on to something bigger. It means not taking on the muck, transmuting it, and then returning it beautiful. We've been doing that for a long time as healers. That's the idea. Bring it into your body, the cells of your body, or whatever, your DNA. Clean it up, scrub it up, and transmute it. Move on. No, this is different. This is like what Jesus was talking about in that vision of running straight, up and down, up and down. The heart connection with Gaia and the multiverses. That line up and down, running like that. And then being aware of the management of the energy, among others. Today I will encounter people who are not advanced. They're not at all metaphysical. I think it's all horseshit. And that everybody like me, and me too, are frivolous, dangerous, and stupid people. Yippee. That's dark. Being around people who refuse to whisper your worth. But I think that's their problem, not mine, not anymore. And rather than spend a lot more time trying to figure out why, so I can help them, and oh my God, oh fuck, at this point, the years I have wasted on that pursuit. The last two in particular, wow. Well, it was a very, very good exercise, but never again. Never again. You get to have your pain. You get to have your irrationality. You get to own it. You get to have your smallness. And it's not going to touch me anymore. And I see it. I do. And I can rise above it. I had a meditation, where I looked into the eye of a whale. And I fell into that whale. And I was within something that I still don't have words for. And then I was outside the whale and I looked at it. It's a fish. It's kind of ugly. It's a machine. Inside the whale. Different story. And then rising above the whole thing and seeing how those perceptions are part of a whole. And I can see bigger now. Empathy is important. It's a first step. Energetically, it's, I think, a requirement. And I really do think it has to do with not individuation, but, it has to do with separation from source. The splitting off of and seeing oneself as these things. Isn't that what empathy is? Seeing oneself as and feeling oneself as and realizing there's something exalted within and then handing that exaltation to the one who triggered the reality. I think that's what empathy is. And instead, there's something more. And it's got to do with humor. It's got to do with seeing the bigger picture, the family connection, that all humans are genetically family. But I just don't have to take on your shit. And if I don't have to take it on, I don't really have to be that scared of you, do I? If I won't be feeling your feelings today, how frightened do I have to feel of you? If I don't have to lift your burden, how avoidant am I going to be? I can be a friend of man. I can be a compassionate sister. And I don't have to defend myself because I will not be taking on that particular energy today. How is that possible? Because I'm running my own. I have my own reality. I have my own feelings. And they're good. So I'm going to go. I've got a lot to do. And I hope you have a great day. It's a Friday. It's the day after Thanksgiving. See? There is such a thing. Please remind yourselves of this at Christmas. There's thankfully, I'm always that way. Thankfully, January comes and the madness is lifted. I really think this is a group agreement. It's if we were just kind and loving to one another and we gave each other gifts all the time and we weren't quite as stingy with one another, we wouldn't make such a big frickin' deal over Christmas. And, the retailers have gone mad. It's just a feeding frenzy. So it's lost its meaning. But it's that people still respond to it. Oh man, I'm bucking it this year. Everyone's getting perfumed oils. Just FYI. I'm not participating. You'll be getting your gifts through the year. And those who are friends with me know I don't like to save gifts for Christmas. I give when I find a gift. So I mean, it's fun if you save up for Christmas. I don't have a problem with that. Me and my friend Diane, sometimes we don't see each other for a couple of years. She's such a great gift giver. I am a crap gift giver, okay? I just am. But she's so good at it, and she gets so much joy from it. And so we'll have gifts from like 2 years, from Christmases and birthdays. Ooh. And I buy gifts too. They're not as plentiful, but they are as meaningful. So, anyway, that's all I have to say. It's a lot, but I'm feeling so much better just within and without, and I'm wanting to share that. And I don't know, just being excited to do it this morning was exciting for me, to be really happy, hobbling to the laptop, feeling like I have a place and a home and a voice, that maybe there's a couple of ears on the other side. Thank you for being those ears. Namaste.